All right. I think we're online. We're all set. Welcome, everyone. This is Karma Chat number 59 is what we're on today. Thank you for joining us. Jake and Clint here. What's up?
Just that arrows, buddy.
Oh. um, uh, as always, best place to find out what we're doing, what we're about is check out our website, karmaincarnate.com. If you really want to see what our agents are up to, check out their personal websites like clint.karmaincarnate.com. You can see his pictures and all this stuff and how he attaches to what it is. It's pretty cool. It also means that you can make your impact felt right from the website so that you can actually be a part of what we're doing, take action every month to end hunger and move this incredible experience of humanity forward into some new areas is really what we're trying to do in the long and short of it. But other than that, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the social medias, Karma Incarnate, or at the Karmic Feed on Twitter. You can also catch us on I think I left something out here. Social medias, website. Maybe I didn't forget anything.
Smoke signals.
Smoke. We should start doing smoke signals, dude. If I knew how to do karma smoke signals, I'd do that like 6 hours before the karmic transmission on Mondays. It'd be pretty cool.
Pretty cool form of
You can make giant karma letters in the sky.
carrier pigeons.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Send messenger foxes like in uh Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah. Or just send a brood of foreboding crows.
Yeah. Like Game of Thrones style, right?
Yeah.
Or they sent ravens. It's usually
Saruman kind of dabbled in that.
But that would be it's karma. It could be you would have to send both white like doves and crows. You'd have to have both
The yin and
because
the
it's
yang.
the yin and the yang. Exactly. You got to have both sides
A
represented.
crow for every dove,
A crow for every dove.
as they say.
Yeah. But that's the best place to find us on the website, karmaincarnate.com, or come on out and meet with us. Karma Label events are a great time where we're going to do a game plan was to do we haven't done one in a while, so it's slipping my mind. Karma Q. We were talking about doing a Karma Q again this year because with the pandemic and all that stuff, we hadn't been able to have them the last few years. So I'm thinking we still ought to do that. This would be a good one. We were kind of shooting for September.
Yeah,
Was a game
it's a
plan.
little cooler.
A little bit cooler, a little bit easier for everybody. So keep your eyes open. Good chance to come on out and see what we're doing firsthand. Get your hands right on it because at all those events, you actually get to see and touch the food that we're going to be taking and delivering to people, including the pet food for our fun little cats and dog friends like Shiloh and kitty cats.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible. I have yet to see an organization that really set themselves apart the way that we did with dog and cat food.
No one's done it.
It's one of the things that every month I
If
think
they
is
had,
most.
they didn't mean it.
They didn't mean it. Well, they take it to animal shelters.
Right.
That's and don't it's needed there. They need so much help. I actually just I had to take Sam's Quench to the vet when we got back from our Vegas trip with mom and all that kind of stuff, which really cool video that Rex made about our Vegas trip. We'll have a link to that one in here as well. Dude, trip of a lifetime. That trip was unbelievable. But when I got back,
awesome.
I had to take Sam's Quench to the vet, and just in talking to those guys and seeing how they need dog and cat food in places like that. So, and you can buy dog and cat food from them, which is even crazier because it's more of the donations for the like kenneled animals and stuff like that. Whereas they sell the high end veterinary stuff, like the stuff that I had to buy for Sam's Quench. And it's kind of crazy because what they need is just the stuff to give to the regular animals, the non-specialty stuff.
Right.
So
and I think it was I feel like you're talking down to me. I'm trying to get above you. Just
no, you're good, man. I didn't toy with the chairs. I swear it was not intentional, but I find it rather funny.
Looked like
Looked like you were sitting on the ground.
Tom Cruise or something sitting down there.
Yeah. Well, you're not that short yet. I'm getting there. I'm starting to shrink, I think. So, but yeah, it's that dog and cat food was such a neat thing, and just dude, to go to regular food banks, places where people don't think about it.
Yeah, brilliant. It was a stroke of genius, that idea.
Big shout. I don't even know where
because they're part of the family. It's kind of the theme of the day for me, with Shiloh's news and stuff. So
oh yeah, dude.
The pets are They're part of the family.
Well, and they're an important part of the family because, it's, in order to get my cat back when, 9, 10 years ago, I was living in an apartment at the time, back in the beginning stages of Karma, when we were doing my apartments and doing everything there. I was technically in a non-pet friendly unit, but I ended up with a cat and, didn't want to get rid of him. So I actually went in and got a doctor's note saying that he was an emotional support animal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so
What about the other cat?
huh? Well, that just came along afterwards
Yeah,
because they only caught me with the one.
right.
I didn't.
Once it smells like
Mhm.
cats,
Well, and you walk in here, my house doesn't smell like cats all that much.
well,
If at
no,
all.
it doesn't at all.
Yeah, so you
But
just gotta take care of it.
apartments tend to smell
Yeah,
like
yeah,
cats.
because you're a lot smaller. You got much more consolidated
Right.
space. But even then, it never really smelled like cat because
No,
all you got to
and
do is
that's
take
not
care
what I
of it.
was saying. I wasn't saying your place smell like cats.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying, once there's one,
Mhm.
you can get away with a couple more, because,
Oh yeah, it's easy to just say it's still just one.
yeah,
Mhm.
the smell, the
Yeah.
hair, the whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, and that's the deal, is, dude.
Meow
I lived there for
in the night, the random
3 years before they knew I had a cat. Yeah.
And then you did the
And
emotional support move.
Well, what happened is I had mom's cat, Scooter, that little white and brown one. And sorry, guys, I didn't mean to kick the screen and cause it all shaking. We're still working out a few
We
kinks
should
in
have
the
went
setup.
with an earthquake.
We should have.
From the Star Trek thing.
Have things just thrown off screen at us.
The Russians.
But I had mom's cat, and then she took her cat down to Vegas. And in that whole time, they never knew that I had a cat. It wasn't until I got Sam Squatch as a kitten and they came around for inspections and all of a sudden they saw him because that Scooter cat, she hides. She would be hiding up under the bed or tucked away in a corner. Like she was never there to be seen. So they never caught me with her. But Sam Squatch, he was just a little kitten though. Oh yeah, he came out to play. So, but that's when I did the emotional support route.
Good move.
Yeah, because
And it's not a lie.
no, because they're that to everybody. Like you said, they're family, and one thing the family does is they'll listen and take in your stuff, and they'll help you work through big ideas, and small ones.
Yeah.
So
I get all my best ideas from my dogs.
mhm. So they're incredible creatures, and that's why you got to look after them. It's the it's the thing with family is that it's not so much it's a stewardship and a give and take with pets, especially, because we got to look after them. They're definitely relying on us, but they give us so much in return all the way around.
Yeah.
Vital.
Every pet I ever had, almost.
From Ray to, and that's the thing is we've had all kinds of cool pets. We lived in a family
I
of
can't
fun
speak
pets.
for 2 cats that Rachel had.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Mhm.
lights out, blue ribbon, top notch, grade A,
Absolutely.
parts of the family.
I think of all the dogs that we had growing up.
Yeah.
Molly and Buckwheat and all those. And dude, they were great animals. Took care of the family. They protected the kids. Hell, Molly attacked Grandpa that one time when he came over to the house.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was trying to come in the backyard to go check on the horses and stuff. And nobody was home but me and Rex, and she wouldn't let him in the house. She wouldn't let him come in near the yard because it was just me and Rex home alone. And that was our grandpa.
Your dog.
Yeah, she knew it was up. So big old cow of a dog. She was fun.
Yeah, Molly is a good dog.
So, and ever since then, every single one of them. And that's why it's important. The dog and the cat food. And, we had, what's crazy is we had people at the food bank back when we delivered because, dude, it's incredible to think of how much impact Karma's made over the years. Because in the beginning, when we were going there and staying at the food bank and handing out the food and talking with the people, because that's how the dog and cat food came up, is we were working in the food bank, talking with some people, and one of the people that came in looking for food asked about pet food. He was like, "Hey, I can't remember the guy's name. Rex might remember the guy's name, but he He was glasses, really long hair, kind of going bald on top. It had the really long ponytail, like an ex-rocker.
Nice.
You know, the guy that didn't want to grow out of it in the 80s.
Yeah.
And just really friendly guy. I want to say he was a computer programmer or something, but he came in, he was like, "Hey, I've got a dog at home. You guys got anything I can feed my dog? I've been giving it my tuna fish and stuff like that.
That's all
Just the food." And it was like, dude, bingo. We'll figure out some dog and cat food. And the first time we did it, we bought like a couple of 20-pound bags of food and actually like broke it down into baggies and hand weighed it out and did all that stuff. Right?
Why?
Cost effective. It's karma, man. You're trying to make your dollar go the furthest. But then after doing that like once or twice, the next go around, we found those bags that we use now that actually they fold into the size and the food weight pretty well for what they do.
Yeah.
And then we just started buying those single like 4-pound bags.
No, yeah, I see what you mean, breaking the cost down, but then you gotta figure your time with money too. And
bingo, you start kind of weighing some of the pros and cons on that stuff.
yeah.
So, but that's how it all started, and it evolved. You know, that's all it took was one great idea, and it's the one trick to where it's why dog food's only available in the $50 family food gift though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because unfortunately, you know, because animals they are part of the family, and we do have to be stewards and protectors of them, just like everyone else. Unfortunately, just like everything, you can't take care of them if you yourself are starving. You know,
right.
It's a hard trade-off to work through some of these things, and so that's why with like the smaller, the $10 and $25 family food gifts, those ones we just got to focus on human essentials. You know, because the idea there is that if we've given you the means for you to get through yourself, maybe you can start finding a better way to help your animal. You know, and then to people that want to help out even more, well, that's $50 lets us buy dog food, so we can help those people and their pets. You know.
Yep. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And we live longer than they do.
Yeah, we really do.
So whatever, we've seniority or something. Something adds up.
Well, you know,
we have a turtle.
We have turtles. Remember Rex had that turtle?
They can outlive you longer than
parrots will live 50 years.
But some turtles, don't they live like 100 and
well,
some of those land turtles?
They can. So I don't know about your little box turtles that you keep in your aquarium and stuff like that.
I'm talking about
the big tortoises, like the desert tortoises.
Get you a tortoise
that'll outlive you.
And then see who eats first.
I would imagine that's a hard pet to take care of.
Well, you have to pass it on to somebody, right?
Well, yeah, you're going to have to will it on, just like there's a couple of animals that are that way. Like I said, birds. There's some birds that are that way, parrots and stuff like that. You essentially have to write them into your will with where they're going to go. Some lizards, like iguanas and stuff like that, can live a long time. Some snakes can live a long time. Because a lot of those things, it's just about care and how well you maintain them.
Yeah.
Unlike dogs and cats, that's the weird one. Is mammals, things like us, seem to have a much more set time limit in a lot of regards. I think it has to do with the fact that we're what do they call it? Endothermic. The fact that we create our own heat and burn up our own bodies to survive. Where a lot of those other animals, they just soak it in from their environment, so they don't have to expend that energy to create it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I will come out and just say that I'm not a biologist. It's not what I am. But I think it has to do with something like that because it's interesting that, like I said, birds will live longer, except for finches, hummingbirds, really small ones. But yeah. But dogs and cats, when I was talking with the vet, they were like, yeah, 15 years is about the average, And I told them that I got a 25-year-old cat, and they all went, whoa.
I remember Rags. Rags was probably damn near 21.
That was an old dog. And she was so
She
friendly.
was old when I was a baby.
Yeah. Dude, she was old when I was a baby.
Yeah, but I'm
10 years older than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I say she was old. That was an old dog.
Yeah.
And I have vague memories.
She outlived a couple marriages up there.
She outlived one. She didn't outlive two though. She did make it through the
See,
first.
in my deal, I got Shiloh with Megan,
Mm.
Sheila,
Yeah, Sheila with Megan.
when we were dating. And then after we split up, it wasn't long after that
Yeah,
Sheila
she
passed.
went. Hmm.
And then Rachel had Rocky.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, we got
And then you got these guys.
Shiloh a
Hmm.
little before I met Misha. So, anyways, it's kind of interesting that way.
Yeah,
Life's a series of wives and dogs for some of us.
that right there's the headline for this: a series of wives and dogs.
Yeah, and it's been a good ride.
Dude, it's been a really good ride. You've always had good dogs, good pets. Dude, I've liked all your wives.
Sheila
You've
was
had great wives.
I won't sit and praise them like the dogs, but
Well, yeah,
good people.
they are. They're good
Still get
people.
along with them.
So you got kids with one of them, so they had to be good people. But yeah, man, it is kind of funny though that Dad had. Well, dude, he had her and Buckwheat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they both made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. All the animals that we've had, the horses, the rabbits, and all the stuff, the dogs and the cats are the ones that you remember most. And,
Well, they're the best.
mhm.
And maybe that's why they don't live the longest, because we'd be it would be too devastating if they lived like 40 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then, because that's what dogs and cats, I mean, they have all that personality in it.
Mhm.
Dogs, especially, amazing what we can do
Yeah.
with helping people out, and
Mhm.
train to do stuff for the military and cops and
Search and
search
rescue
and
dogs
rescue
and the seeing eye dogs and stuff like
yeah,
that.
they're
You
amazing.
know, the capabilities.
Truly man's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting what Rex was saying the other night. I think he was saying that cats are so smart that they domesticated themselves. They wandered into the human village and went, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna eat their food. Whereas like man kind of domesticated dogs.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think that's what Rex said, and if Rex said it, it's law.
Oh God. Don't let him hear you say that.
Yes, he did. I bet.
Shit. Do you realize what you've just done?
We'll have to weigh in.
His head's just gonna keep no spoken.
He has spoken.
He heard us. um I think they both kind of did that kind of stuff, because I think the dogs and the wolves, that was like the separation. It was the wolves that hung around and got more friendly with humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine cats kind of doing something similar, although I don't know where the cat genus split is.
Yeah.
Because in the end, that's really what it comes down to. You see people and start figuring if you're friendly, they might take care of you because they appear to do that.
Well, that's where it's like argue what's more intelligent, a cat or a dog. But I think it's just the thing about cats is like they seem like they don't want. Like they could learn stuff if they wanted to, but they don't.
Well, they can, and the proof is in the fact that people will toilet train their cats and stuff like that.
That's true.
So
I guess like in the service, like they're not going to go fetch you this or that.
Yeah, you're getting them to go get your newspaper or something like that.
There's only so much they can do with their smaller mouths.
I don't know because
paper,
there's that story of some old lady in the Midwest, Michigan, Wisconsin, somewhere like that, who trained cats to steal things from her neighbors. I think I've brought this up on a transmission before.
Okay, that seems like what a cat would be into.
Yeah, but that proves that they can be trained to do stuff.
Put them in little ninja outfits.
That'd be great if she did. It would have been even better.
But ninja mask.
The cops caught her by following a cat back to her house. Like they had heard a whole bunch of reports of like missing jewelry and silverware and like
No
odd
way.
stuff. And this lady had trained her cats to bring back sparkly items by giving them treats and doing the old Pavlovian like techniques on them. So her cats would go around to neighbors' houses and take earrings and necklaces and watches and bring them home to her. But yeah, the cops one day saw a cat like running off with a watch in its mouth and followed it to her house. And lo and behold, here's all the burglary items from the neighborhood. And yeah, she had trained her cats.
You know, of all the criminals,
That's one of the most brilliant,
well,
right?
that should be like forgiven and like exonerated or whatever the word is.
Yeah,
It should be that lady because she has like contributed to science.
yeah. In a lot of ways, she's proven that you can have cat burglars.
Where did you hear about this?
Dude, I'll have to find it.
This wasn't like an episode of The Simpsons or something, was it?
No, I swear to God, I'll find it.
All right.
I'll find it. We'll get it in the links. It might take a day or so.
So with the cat, yeah.
But yeah,
They
that's
probably
that's
just
all that
grab
it was.
it.
Anything shiny, anything
And they grab
sparkly,
it in their little mouth.
bring it home to her, and she would give them treats.
They wouldn't have like a little cat wagon hitched up.
No, nothing that
Put a bunch of stuff
complex. No, it was just
Run back,
they'd see a shiny thing and bring
drag
it home.
this miniature
Be fantastic.
cat wagon.
The cat wagon, the cat cart from
Full of
Community.
jewels.
Yeah, that's why I say these animals are intelligent. They're extremely intelligent. But like when I talk about it, you have to equate intelligence to a metric. And so I always give it like dealing with a dog is like dealing with a little kid between the ages of 2 and 8.
Yeah.
You know, they're just excited and they're happy and everything's amazing. Whereas cats, it's like dealing with moody teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, oh yeah, I could do something, but I don't want to fucking do it. You know, that's
now I feel like saying
Yeah.
hi to you.
yeah, exactly.
When you called me the last 27 times, I couldn't give a shit, but
yeah, because that's
you're on my
that's
terms.
really the scale. Because you know, I do that with just about any animals. You got to give it that good point of reference, and they're all just various scales of human intelligence in all reality, because that's the closest we have to measure anything to right now.
I think that's what I love about dogs is that little kid like.
Yeah.
Like when a dog's in trouble, when he knows he did something wrong.
Yeah.
Or if you have 2 dogs and you know which one did it. You know, stuff like that. There's that one YouTube video of that lady asking who did it, and the other dog puts his paw on the other one's head. The one looks really guilty. Puts his paw on his head.
See, but that's exactly, and it's all behavioral. It's just that interaction they pick up from being around people. You know, because I've seen your dogs. They'll know when you're upset and scrooge their head down and run away, and they're extremely intelligent when it comes to those things, especially. So,
well, what's crazy about dogs is they sense the mood, the kind of the collective consciousness of what's going on, the energy that they're in. Like you don't have to say a word if you're like if I'm mad and I haven't said anything or slammed any cupboards or anything. My dogs know I'm mad.
Yeah,
they can like smell it or something.
Yeah, and usually they tend to be a little more protective or affectionate or we've been watching King of the Hill. And they've got a great episode on King of the Hill about it, because he gets upset about a guy coming into work on his water heater, and it gets his dog all upset. And then turns out the guy working on the water heater is black, and so they're like, no, it's a racist dog. And they're, no, it's not the dog's racist. It's that it was upset. The owner was upset. It has nothing to do with the dog having any particular to the other.
I don't think animals are racist.
No, they don't have any of that stuff. It's all
probably
it's training behavioral.
That's that on my tombstone. I feel that confident about that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I won't.
But you won't. I would do it, but I won't.
Realize Prim Vanderlinden, dogs are not racist. They're animals.
Animals aren't racist.
Tombstone.
Animals are animals.
They're the best.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Dude, we're no different in a lot of ways. We get hungry, we get hurt, we get upset, and you know, same things happen with us. We just tend to think we hide it better, handle it better, things like that. But they know, they can feel it.
Mhm.
That's the crazy part. And interestingly enough, there are a lot of people that'll do that too. You know, there are people that are incredibly attuned to that emotional energy.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah,
because
without a doubt.
it's,
Nisha's like that,
yeah,
yeah. Pretty in tune with people's energy right away. I think Cooper is too.
mhm, I can see that.
Well, I guess we all
It's a skill. It's something that people learn to work with and do things. The Rex and Mom are really good at it. You know, it's and in all reality, it's why karma is what it is and why it can connect in so many ways is because it's not about an explanation or a definition or having any kind of ultimate understanding. It's about the feeling. You know, it's about you know it in your heart, you know it in your gut that these things that we're doing, I'm one of those people that totally believes that people can recognize morality without needing religion and all that stuff involved because you
Yeah.
feel it,
Yeah.
you know it in your
It's
core.
like generational wisdom.
Yeah,
It's like passed down through like
yeah.
centuries
It's
of
in our
human
genetics.
being. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it's from the time that we were monkeys
Genetic
when
memory,
people were
is that what they call
assholes.
that?
Yeah, genetic memory. And it's something that's always been there. So like I think that people are very much attuned to feeling that as well. And it's why, karma is so much of that. It's like it doesn't matter, there's 100 million different reasons why you should do it and why you should get involved. But the ultimate one is that it feels right when it comes down to it in your core, you can feel that it's good because all it is I I use a resource, I use my capital, my money to invest in buying food for all of humanity. And if we all do that together, we'll not only feed each other physically, we'll not only feed each other physically, we'll feed each other financially, emotionally, spiritually. Because it's a part of who we are to want to be good people. It's a part of us,
Right.
and that's that. It's a weird thing and why it can permeate so easily and why you just know it works. And if anything, we over explain it too much. That
No, I don't think so.
well, I know that I've been
I mean, everything is explained to me thousands of times a day.
well, that's a different story.
Thousands of times. a day.
That's a completely other thing, I think.
I think I have pre-onset Alzheimer's
Alzheimer's,
or something.
is that a thing? Pre-onset?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well,
Case in point.
that would be a case in point. If you don't know, that could be pre-onset
Why say
anything.
it? If I don't know why you would say it?
Mhm.
I do.
Yeah,
It's part of my struggle. I'm gonna figure out what I have and start a group.
I like it. When you figure that group out, let me know and I'll
Yeah.
send people your way.
No, we will not start a group.
We're already in a group. We're in the best group,
Well, yeah,
the human group,
the human group,
the team human.
and I think karma is just the purest form of that. Just
Mhm.
commensalism, mutualism.
Yeah.
Mutualism.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
that total
Biology is like broken down to a biological term. It's like
it's symbiosis.
two
It's a
organisms
symbiotic relationship.
helping, and
Yeah.
that's as pure as that.
Mhm. And that's the best kind of thing that we can have because when you have those kinds of things, it allows for the ultimate growth and potential. Because you're not worried about whether or not. Oddly enough, it means that the stressor in that care can be set aside. And you can focus on other things. And it's what we try to do with society as a whole. This idea of building cities and all of this stuff, it was to try to eliminate some of those cares and worries that we have. Am I going to eat today? Am I going to drink today?
Make
Am I
things
going to,
more convenient.
a little more convenient,
cooler or warmer and better.
Yeah, it does all
Yummier.
those things, but the part that it lost with all of that is the humanity side to it. We lost touch with that interconnectedness that we needed the entire time to know that, even though we're all in this alone, we sure have a lot of things that rely on each other. You know, I go turn on a faucet and water comes out. That's not me making that happen. That's a water company and like 300 employees and people that built dams and reservoirs. And,
Yeah.
you know, we're talking
Yeah.
generations of people that built something so that I can go turn a faucet and have water come on.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
There's no reason that we shouldn't wake up feeling grateful
Yeah.
for what we have.
And that's the
And
part
that's what
that,
we lose. It's easy to lose
Mhm.
sight of.
Yeah,
with all
it's the
this.
part that you lose touch with. You lose touch with your feelings.
Mhm.
When you're so involved in everything else out here, you forget, you lose touch with what's in here, you know,
Mhm.
and you lose touch with each other. Cause that's the part that's absolutely crazy. Cause in the end, you know, it's the thing that I talked about at the food bank one time. We were over there and back when we were doing the handout again, it's crazy to think that we've been doing this stuff for 10 years, you know. It, karma with food deliveries and all this stuff. We just were doing I was looking at the trademark stuff and filing the paperwork with the lawyer and doing all that, which is cool. That process is actually underway. It's government stuff is insane. Like absolutely ridiculously insane. But going back, it got me thinking about all these old experiences and all these old run-ins because we had to talk about how long we've been using the mark and what we've been doing with it, how it was used in commerce and all that kind of stuff, right? But back when we were working when we were doing the food bank thing and helping handing out food and taking it out to people's cars, because that was the big one is they didn't have wagons or anything to get food from the food bank out to people's cars. So we were just like helping people carry out boxes and stuff.
Right.
And I remember somebody, I think it might have been one of the other volunteer groups that was there that day, but they saw some guy pull up in like a BMW Z3 or something like that, with a really nice car, and he gets out in a suit and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And he's walking up to the food bank getting help. And the person that we were there with, he was just going, well, that's weird. If they can take care of themselves, they had a very different approach to it, thinking that person is not needing the help, right? And I remember coming back to it, and I think it was Rex was sitting there, and we got talking. It's like, you know, he might be in an industry, he might be in a business or something that requires him to maintain a certain image, or he can't work. So that doesn't mean that he doesn't need the exact same help as everybody else. You know, they saw
Well,
through the
you
Great
don't know.
Depression, people that literally would have an empty home, but they lived the appearance of still having their home. You know, it's really odd and interesting what people will do, but in the end, we all need help. We all have that interconnectedness, and it's not there for us to judge or worry about. It's there for us to just be willing to help with if we can,
Yeah.
because we don't know that person's situation. You know,
Well,
we can't know.
even if you don't, you're
Mhm.
no worse out. You're no worse off
By
you
helping
know,
them.
throwing some good out into the world.
No,
And then if the wrong person grabs some of it, maybe down the road they'll feel bad about it and think, well, maybe I should be
Well,
more like that and help them down the road.
yeah, you
so good things come out of bad things too. That's
Exactly.
the crazy thing about this yin and yang ride we're on.
Because it's also about redemption.
Yeah.
You know, we help people in
Yeah.
the food bank in hopes that one day they're not going to need it anymore. And more than that, if they start doing stuff with karma, how about going from I was getting food in the food bank to now I put food in the food bank?
Right.
You know, that's like the ultimate transition right there, because in the end, that's what we as people want. We don't want to hand out, we want to hand up. We want to be given that opportunity to own our own labor and our own work and say, hey, you know, I can contribute too. And it doesn't take much in some cases, but that's what people want. You know, all that depression and everything else because you don't feel like you're doing anything, you don't feel like you're contributing, and it's that weird disconnect that we get with situations like that. You know, I'm giving, but this person's taking advantage. Well, that's not on me. I can't. Why am I wasting my time and worry on that one?
Right.
That's for them to square. All I can do is what I'm doing, which is putting good out in the world.
Right.
And the more good we have, the more good there'll be for all of us. Is the end goal, right? Ideally.
Yeah.
So
that's the goal.
because it's really interesting how And I don't really know where I was going with that, man.
Well, I just think, yeah, I think there's this misconception amongst, I don't know, maybe breeding types or, certain types of people that are just maybe within us all a little bit. There's this misconception that abundance is limited.
Yeah.
There's can only be so much to go around. Which, no. If we really were to work together, I mean, we'd be colonizing other planets.
Well, dude, it's
future. Like the abundance can grow.
Yeah.
Can grow.
Well, dude, think about it just in your household, right? You can, if you're somebody that's willing to put in a little bit of effort, you can always have them. I cooked steaks for me, Mom, and Rex the other night. If you and Nisha had showed up, well, I put on 2 more and just cook a little bit longer. That's the crazy part is in all reality, every single one of us has the ability to be that creating presence that generates more, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. And we see it in our agriculture, in these things that create food for us. One guy in his tractor does the work of 15 farmhands and feeds hundreds of thousands of people in the United States. Literally I think it was something like less than 6% of the population or 0.6% of the population is farmers.
Right.
And they feed 350 million Americans and the rest of the world. 0.6% of our population.
Yeah.
That's insane that we can do something like that. Otherwise, we'd all be out farming every single day to feed ourselves.
Yep.
These things that we've been able to do, and it's so that we can unleash our human potential to have things like Zoom and
free up other creative minds to not be on the farm and follow their dreams and
that's the big one right there is follow your dreams. But that means that you have to create your dreams. It's on you to make something out of it. It's not just going to be gifted to you. Just like that guy planning the food that we're all eating, I have to create something of value to give to him in order to get it. Otherwise, there's no exchange. That symbiotic relationship that we talked about is gone.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing behind all human interaction.
Everything's a business transaction.
It is. It's all an interaction, a transaction. And we need to be grateful for that. We can't forget that that's also part of what we are too. And that's why we know that we can recognize good transactions in our gut. That's why we know what they are. And it's a marketer's job. This is the incredible thing about what we've done now is all this marketing and sales and technology and advertising and all that stuff. It's all gotten to a point where they know how people gut react, And this is the craziest part about people is that means that we have to learn ourselves and figure ourselves out again to control our gut reactions.
Yeah.
Because that's the crazy part is it's all about knowing yourself, who and what you are and what you're capable of and how much you can give, because it's only through giving that you're ever going to get anything back out of it. At least from what I've noticed. So, and a lot of people when they forget about that transactional side of everything, they start thinking, well, I just do it all. It's really weird. It's a hard one because it does it's a weird disconnect, So
when people take it all on themselves, and
when they lose that gratitude, when they forget that it's not just them, I didn't get up in the morning and flip a light switch. In all reality, there's thousands of people that are all a part of me getting up to do that.
It's easy to slip into narcissism, just be a little too self-absorbed, It was easier before we all had cell phones.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
It's easier all the time to put yourself in your own little bubble.
These feedback loops and even just things to spike your endorphins and that's what's not really finding happiness.
No,
it's just kind of a band-aid. So drugs.
It's true, and that's
drugs.
Stay off drugs. What was that? The G.I. Joe stuff. Didn't they do it?
Oh.
Didn't they do like a don't do drugs thing?
Knowing's half the battle.
Yeah, knowledge is power and knowing's half the battle or something like that. Or
Yeah, I just remember the end, they'd say knowing's half the battle. So now you know.
so now you know.
Something.
Dale said the one where it was like a rainbow thing.
That
Like
was
a shooting star. That wasn't G.I. Joe. It was.
Those were just little PSAs they show.
Yeah. You remember what they were from though? They just went along with the Saturday morning cartoons, right? Is what it was. You mean all right, I should say not the Saturday morning cartoons, the Saturday morning advertisements. Because let's face it, that's what they were, is a 30-minute advertisement for why you wanted to buy the Cobra Command Center.
Oh yeah.
That's all those all those shows were.
Without a doubt. I actually was watching the first season of Transformers last night. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of thought that went into some of the logistics of the plot line there.
No.
But they were selling the toys.
Mm-hmm.
They made sure and they said each other's name a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it was funny because they leave Cybertron 4 million years ago. They left Shockwave on. They leave Shockwave on Cybertron, and then the Decepticons chase the Autobots. And then they get in a big fight on the ship. Luckily, by Earth,
right,
zillions of miles away. And then it's 4 million years ago. I don't know how that works with the space travel, but in the show it didn't take much time to get to Earth. But anyways, they fight, so they end up crashing into the volcano. Cut to 4 million years go by. It's 1986, and the dormant volcano goes off, and then the ship's repair droid, medic droid, comes flying up. Repair. It repairs the Decepticons. They're on the Autobot ship, and then the Decepticons are just like, well, we'll just take off, and leave the broken Autobots. And anyways, the cool part about that is the thing went out and scanned like military planes and came back. So it showed
built all the stuff and did things.
Yeah. And when they were on Cybertron 4 million years ago, they were different. They didn't look like. But when they were the robots, like Bumblebee still had like the right feet for a Volkswagen Bug and stuff. And they turned into this weird car. Whatever, you overlook those things. But the biggest thing is by the time like they get through the story of the first 3 episodes, wrap it up. The Decepticons are building this base underwater, and they get a call from Soundwave. 4 million years old, Soundwave, or plus whatever he was.
Right.
And everything's the same back on Cybertron. Like when they left 4 million years ago, it was because they were running out of energon.
Yeah.
Everyone's dying. And then they talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm really low on energon."
It's just the
you think after 4 million years, and you're still on. What a trooper! He's just hanging out by himself for 4 million years, waiting to talk.
That's why Soundwave was so fucking cool.
Oh man.
Well, he also had his little robots that he could take out of his chest and play with from time to time. His dogs and his pets. That was the deal. Dude, even in Transformers, they had Transformers that had pets. Little robot dogs and monkeys and stuff that came out as tapes.
Yeah, Soundwave was shooting cassettes out.
Yeah, and then
like
you had
a Jaguar or Panther, and then there's
it was like the 2 little monkey guys.
Yeah, the dude that caused the earthquakes.
Yeah,
he's like the smallest guy, but like does the most damage, causing earthquakes.
Yeah,
and then another thing, the guy Mirage, the Autobot Mirage, can disappear. And it's like, their whole thing is, because Spike asks him, he's a human, and he's like, hey, why do you guys turn into cars and stuff? And he's like, for disguise, for, to hide. And it's like, why don't you just all disappear like
this guy? Yeah.
And then they can fly. They're flying everywhere as robots.
Yeah. But when they're in cars, they can't fly.
Why are you driving when you can fly, just be a badass robot with all its weaponry ready to go flying,
Yeah.
and then disappear, and skip this.
Yeah,
Car
the
business.
transformer side of this whole
If our
business.
technology's this far, why just bring everyone else along? Because
Because-
Mirage was a big key in foiling the Decepticons in the third episode, because he was invisible on their ship. Finding an explosive.
Dude, hey, we sold a shitload of toys, and that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So yeah, it's almost, but it was still fun to watch.
dude, it's no different than the same metric that George Lucas figured out with Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, in all reality, it's just
But
it's
A
all
equals
about.
B equals C up until Disney got a hold of it, and they just blew up everything.
And then they skipped everything and said, "Well, let's go with
Well,
double."
now she can force heal a
Yeah.
sandworm for no reason, and do like well, then just go back and force heal Padme, and then you don't have to have Darth Vader.
Oh.
We're gonna add new force abilities.
That stuff was always
and
there.
the OP princess,
Even in the old canon,
off
that healing
forever.
stuff was there. But it's that's the crazy part is there's a lot of lore that they found weird ways of playing in because and no excuses here, just to talk about the power. According to what they say is that force healing is meant to be a dark side power because it shows that you've got connections you're not willing to let go. And so it corrupts you more than it helps you was the idea with what they did in that version of it. In the old school one, dude, like in there was a 2-book series by the guy that did by Timothy Zahn that did the Hand of Thrawn series and stuff like that. And in that one, Luke does a couple of like serious force healing sessions and stuff like that.
well, that's
And
cool.
it was-
You can build up to it.
Yeah, it's something that was always there because it's the idea of just you know creating or spurring on that active thing that our bodies do because dude, when we get cut we heal. Well, just speeding that process up a little bit by focusing on extra energy. That was the idea there, and it was neither good or bad. It was just a power that some people have. It was this new Disney canon stuff that they wanted to say it's a dark side power because that's why you wouldn't just force heal Padme and keep her alive. It's because it's a dark side power.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
she can learn
Over explanation
and she can learn it
from magic books that
and
she found
fly
in
the
a tree.
Falcon better than anyone ever
So-
has the first time flying it. It's just stupid.
Yeah. But it's all about selling the toys. It's all about.
And they didn't do a good job of that either.
Well,
though.
they're not now. They did
They
for
ran Toys
they
R Us
did
out
it
of
for
business.
30 years. They sold plenty of toys. Now it's something else. But what's funny is all of those things, from Star Wars to the cartoons to all of it, they figured out a metric. And once it was established, look at the kind of stuff that we have now. You know, SpongeBob SquarePants and crap like that that's been selling and easily living on just as long as those things, but less. I would argue the quality is lesser. You know,
Well, I'm
'cause
not just
they-
picking on.
they
I'm
found
not
they
just picking on
found
Star Wars.
yeah, no, it's a crazy thing
It's
because
across
it's
the board.
all
There's a whole other litany of reasons that is that
Mm.
we won't get into.
oh yeah, but it's crazy that they figured out that metric. And then what's even weirder is by the time that Rex and I were kids, because you probably don't, you might remember the show Captain Planet. You remember seeing that one, but you probably weren't as wrapped, like didn't see it as much as Rex.
No, I was too old for it.
That dude, they showed Captain Planet in school.
And I hated our environment.
Well, that's arguable. So, but they would show that one, and dude, that went from selling toys to selling ideas, you know.
Mhm.
And dude, it's funny because that's a natural evolution. It's all we're doing is karma.
Mhm.
It's that idea that if you present things in a way that people can understand them, because this is the part that I won't say that, you know, saving the environment and all that stuff that those cartoons push affected people differently to different degrees. Because the one thing that I'll say more about myself towards it is I definitely have a respect for the planet. I don't go out and litter and I try not to leave a big mess.
Oh yeah,
But I don't go out
good
because-
messages and
Yeah,
stuff on
because in the end,
course.
those things are it's about finding that balance in the middle.
All about the balance.
Yeah, I can't go out and police everybody else's trash.
And there's a fine line between selling an idea and
Mhm.
enforcing a doctrine.
Yeah, that's what those
No.
cartoons did.
Sell your stuff. Don't be a zealot and push it.
It's that, right? And more than that, dude, live it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like trash. Do you take care of your garbage? Do you recycle and do your things? If so, great. That's the best thing that you can do. Let everybody else do their own thing. And if people can see what you're doing and follow an example, which is usually more likely to happen, all the better. But if you're the kind of person that just goes, well, I think everyone should recycle, but I don't do it, I don't act on it, now you're a hypocrite. You know,
Oh yeah.
do as I say, not as you. They're those very people that we're talking about that, you know, as Rex would say, they think they can shit and not wipe. And people don't typically like those kind of folks. They smell bad and they walk a little funny most of the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Yep. No.
because that's that side of it
Recognize
that we don't want to, that we can't lose track of, is that interconnectedness. It's all tied back together. And in the end, it's more about if you're living up to what you're saying and doing, best thing you can do.
those.
And then from there, mind your own business, you know.
Yeah, do a little of that
It's
sometimes.
that's a good one, especially if you don't know the context or the situation or what else is going on in the end.
You gotta
Especially, it's
make a big scene or
yeah,
anything.
you let people be people, just like you let dogs and cats be dogs and cats. You gotta let people be people too.
Yep.
Just if you're gonna
Let them
please,
figure it out a little bit on their own
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Even kids on some days.
especially kids. But well, man, like we said, it's all about dogs and family on this one. That's really what it was about, was
Yep.
dogs and family, and I think that's a good place to kind of call it.
Pets and critters and kids and
Mm-hmm. Shiloh's.
creation.
So and that's in the end the best part of it. It's all about creation. That's what it all comes down to, is there's two forces, creation and destruction. Which one are you behind? And I think the creation is probably the best one, because it means that we get to have this. We get to have animals and pets and cool shit to do and things to look at and people to spend our time with.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be a dick and be a criminal, let's say,
Mhm.
be an awesome cat lady
Dude,
that
for real.
trains cats to steal jewelry.
Yeah.
It's
Think
like a
so
Batman
far.
criminal.
It is.
From the old television show.
It really is.
It's magical.
It's and that's what I say. Think so far outside the box that when it comes back around, people can't do anything but say, "Okay, don't do it again." But bravo, you know, like,
no harm done.
yeah, no, it just let it be, because that's the best way that you can have it.
Increase the evolutionary speed of
You have,
felines.
you really have. Question is it transferable? Will their kittens learn to do these things? Genetic memory.
I
Something
don't
to
know.
watch
They
for.
need to give her own team of scientists.
They should hire her at the CIA.
Yeah.
She can train cats to steal government secrets.
No, I don't know.
That would be a good one. But other than that, guys, we'll call this good for Karmic Transmission number 59. As always, it was fun hanging out and talking about families, cats, wives, cat burglars, transform. You know, we talk about all kinds of stuff, but the thing that we always talk about is karma, and how incredible it is that we all have this opportunity to work together and do something bigger than ourselves and be a part of something that just it's good. It's something that's good. So as always, check us out on our website, karmincarnate.com. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias, Karma Incarnate or at the Karmic Feed. Our YouTube channel is an excellent place to just see what we do all the time, because with something like Karma Incarnate, guys, it's not about having it take over your life. Somebody like me, a few of us, it's all we think about, but it's really about just adding a little something. I feed hungry people. It's a part of who I am, along with my job and my family and my animals and my house and it's just another part of who you are. And it's something that's a good part. And if we share that and spread it and we all do a little bit more good, it's a rising tide raises all ships. So until next time, dude, I love having you with me, man. These are fun.
I love you too.
And I can't wait to have the big room ready. So
The big room.
the big room. We'll see you guys next time though. Okay. Karma out.